read the books and then hang out with the author. I'm like living a dream. Good evening, Roundup family. Good evening. Great evening to you. Good to see you. Good to be seen again. Roundup, you made it to the monthly book club review. We will be doing this every month. My mission is to get you to read more. Cut that TV off. Get it out of there. Matter of fact, you can throw it in the trash. I don't think you need it at all. Roundup, I'm Kris Haskins. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Doing that, I get to hang out with some unbelievable people. And today, we have the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, Dennis Kimbro. How you doing, bro?
I am doing fine, Kris. Thanks for having me. It's been a while since we got together.
It has been a while, man. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
So Roundup, how this is going to work, I'm going to have Dennis for a few minutes. I know you probably have a million questions you want to ask him. He is the author, along with Napoleon Hill, on this book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, amongst other books. I chose this book because it changed my life. I remember seeing it back in the early 1990s, Dennis. I saw it at my uncle's house. It's amazing how the things your mind determines what you see, right? So I'm like, I ain't reading that, man. I'm good. Fast forward to now, I'm like, why didn't I read this book 20 years ago? So we're here. I'm going to ask Dennis some of the thoughts behind some of the ideas in the book. And then I'd like for you guys to just bring whatever thoughts you have with Dennis. You have the author here right now. Get your questions in, get them in, and your ideas and your pontifications and your philosophies, as well as members only. There's a button down at the bottom right there. It'll say join. All members will have their questions and ideas answered first. That is going to cost you nothing but a price of a Starbucks coffee a month. So thank you for supporting the channel. It's awesome to have you. Brother Dennis Kimbro, let's get right to it, my friend.
Yep.
A book plug. You have a statement here. Wealth is embodied in a web of enterprise that retains its worth only through constant work, sacrifice, and service. Sheesh. Oftentimes, it comes from doing what others consider insufferably boring. Wealth's most salient characteristic is that it's available to all and is primarily metaphysical, not physical. Consequently, the creation of wealth lies within you, the individual.
Yeah, the economy is not something or some resource out there. The economy is within. And that's not only me, that's Stephen Covey, that's Jim Collins, Good to Great, that's Peter Drucker, and the like. And the fact of the matter is that, Napoleon Hill, I don't know if I shared this with you the last time we got together, Kris, but he wrote 16 books, including the last book that he and I collaborated on. And I have the majority of his books right here. But my favorite book by Napoleon Hill is his next to last book, The Master Key to Riches. Now, why do I like The Master Key to Riches? Because you would think that he would define what wealth and success and abundance and prosperity is in his earlier writings. He didn't do that. He damn near got to the end because when he was working on what became Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, he was in his late 80s. And what did he say about wealth and prosperity and abundance? It begins with peace of mind. Peace of mind is the absence of all negative emotions. Now, why do I share that, Kris? Because until you get over that barrier about peace of mind and define your definition of the world, your definition of the universe, until you do that, you will never look for wealth, outside of you. You will know that it's within. He goes on to say, and I've heard people say this after, what is poverty? When we say somebody is poor, what is lack? Well, poverty isn't the absence of wealth. Wealth is the absence of poverty. Sickness is not the absence of health. Health is the absence of sickness. In other words, until you settle that in your mind, that you're capable of becoming and doing whatever you want, you already know that you're wealthy. I say in the wealth choice that that wealth is not a condition of your degree, what side of town you were born, your contacts, your ability to network and this, that, and everything. No. I mean, wealth and prosperity is a function of faith. It's a function of discipline. It is a function of believing yourself when no one else will. Now, those are three key resources that I just gave you, Kris. And anybody has that. Anybody can exercise persistence. Mm-hmm. Anybody can exercise, when you look at the lodestar to wealth and prosperity, we have all the gifts. We have all the capabilities. Well, wealth has nothing to do with capabilities, but it has everything to do with your belief in your capabilities. Wow. Wealth has nothing to do with your resources, but it has everything to do with your resourcefulness, which is a big difference, which is a huge difference. And that's not me, that's Steve Jobs, that's Jeff Bezos of Amazon, that's Bill Gates, that's Oprah Winfrey, that's Robert Smith, on and on and on and on and on.
But I guess, Brother Kimbro, I think I thought it was a destination, right? So I'm reading your book, and as we grow, we just learn stuff.
But you continually and constantly grow. That's the measuring stick. The measuring stick isn't how much money in your pocket. The measuring stick, number one, is fulfillment, and number two, are you making progress? Are you making progress? That answer was decided years ago in the late 1800s when Andrew Carnegie wrote The Gospel of Wealth. And it's a little short book. You got to go get it. And what does he say in The Gospel of Wealth? He says, the man or woman who dies wealthiest dies in disgrace. And that was, that was the lodestar for his life. I mean, Andrew Carnegie, if you took Carnegie's wealth today by $21, I mean, we're talking easy, $500, $600 billion. Well, Kris, he gave every dime of it away. He would make Jeff Bezos with his 160 some odd billion look like a welfare case. And he gave every dime of it away.
Well, the statement, and this is the last thing. I want to stay here for a minute, then I'm going to get onto persistence. Constant work, sacrifice, and service. Mm-hmm. I'm like, help me get over that thing of the I'm like, it doesn't. Once again, I thought it was a destination, but as I'm aging, I'm like, dude, this is never ending. This just goes to another goal, another product, another service, another person I need to help. Help me, give us something, Brother Kimbro, for the person that's kind of stuck in the or still in the earning philosophy where I'm trying to earn. Give me something to say.
I mean, it's, in a Socratic method, you answered your own question. I mean, it's not a destination. It's a never-ending journey. This journey that we call life, as I shared with you before, is a classroom, and it's unlike any classroom that you've ever entered it. Why? Because you're not only the student, you're the teacher. Well, what is success? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal and ideal. And that's how we get icons, the term icons. What's an icon? Well, I mean, it's the individual, just like you and I, Kris, who have a goal in mind. And when we achieve that goal, 99.9% of us, when we achieve that goal, we kick our hands up, we get a soft drink, we're laying on the beach, blah, blah, blah. And we think that's the be all end all. No, those folks that we call iconic, they set two things they do. Number one, they set another goal, and Kris, they maintain that hunger on the next goal that they use for the first goal. And that's the difference. I mean, that's the difference in Beyonce. That's the difference in Tiger Woods when he was on his game. Serena Williams, LeBron James, all the great wealth creators, they maintain that initial hunger. And what do? They dominated their profession. They dominated their profession. And all the great mystical writings and all the great philosophies and all the great books and teachings, just think of the millions upon millions upon millions of books out there. Kris, there's only 1, 2, or 3 or 4 people who've ever won the Pulitzer Prize twice.
I did not know that.
Linus Pauling is the only individual to win the Nobel Prize in medicine twice. Just think of the millions upon millions of doctors in the universe. He is the only. He maintained that hunger, that desire, that quest for inquisition. Again, going back to W.B. Du Bois, paideia, always paideia. Learning, education, knowledge, inquisition. Ask the critical questions, increase the body of knowledge. Tell me something I didn't know. And that's powerful. If you can maintain that hunger, and that's the book that I'm working on now. I mean, I'm just sharing some of my business right here. People ask me all the time, Dr. Kimbro, what are you working on? Well, I'm looking at the great icons, and I found 3 critical factors right off the bat.
Okay.
These individuals. Number 1, deliberate practice.
Deliberate
practice.
Deliberate.
You know what I'm saying? Well, why do you need to practice? Girl, you're already on top of your game. LeBron, why are you shooting those baskets? You're already on top of your game. Deliberate practice. Number 2, get around the best. Associate with the best. Get around the best in the industry, the best in the field. Associate with the best. And then last but not least, master your craft. Master your craft. Go get the book, Letters to a Young Writer.
What is it called?
Rilke, the great writer, the great poet. And he receives a letter one day from an aspiring poet with some of his poetry enclosed. And he finally meets his great poet, his icon, whatever. And he says, Master Rilke, how can I be a great poet like you? Mm-hmm. Rilke not only looked at some of his poetry, but wrote some notes in the margin, put it in the mail and sent it back to the young man. And he said, simple. He said, don't write poetry because you want to. Write poetry because you have to. Your very soul depends on it. Mm-hmm. It's like breathing. Your very essence hangs on the edge in the balance, whether you complete this task or not. And that goes back to the biblical phrase, many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few showed up. Many are called, but few updated the resume. Many are called, but only a handful got a suit that fits. Many are called, but only 1 or 2 showed up on time. If you want to succeed, Kris, all you got to do is show up. You show up, you'll beat 80% of the competition. You show up on time, you'll beat 85% of the competition. You show up on time with a plan, you'll beat 90% of the competition. You show up on time with a plan and a commitment to carry it out, you'll beat 95% of the competition. But look, damn it, if you show up on time with a plan and a commitment to carry it out and then execute it, you make the cover of Time magazine. This is not rocket science, man. I guess that's what people are looking for. They're looking for rocket science. No, it is not. The breadcrumbs are clear and they're in the forest. Follow the breadcrumbs. Follow the breadcrumbs.
Roundup, give us a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up. We're here on our monthly book club review with the Roundup Book Club. In my quest to get you to read more, I'm out here searching for good authors. And today we're kind of going over Think and Grow Rich, the Black Choice with the author, Dennis Kimbro. Get your questions in the box over there, your thoughts and ideas, so we can get Dennis on this thing. Dennis, I'm reading in the book so much. You will discover that lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. Give me a picture in your mind. Share with my rounduppers. What does persistence look like to you? My mentor tells me, Kris, either you're consistent or you're non-existent. Give us just a picture of that, because a lot of people think they get into business, they're going to go make 10 offers, try to do 10 deals, try to go raise some money, and it's just going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, oh no. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I can't do it. This is not for me.
Well, they are right. I mean, in one aspect, persistence looks like a mathematical equation, because success is nothing but a statistical event. I mean, you do one thing over and over and over and over. And I mean, from Malcolm Gladwell to the other writer, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I got this book in my study called The 10,000 Rule. But persistence also looks like the essence of faith. So what is persistence? Persistence is the level of belief that you have in yourself. I remember when I interviewed John Johnson of Ebony Magazine, and I interviewed him twice, and at one time, he was the paragon of excellence. In my mind, he still is in terms of Black entrepreneurship. And he was telling me all the nonsense that he had to go through. And I said, Mr. Johnson, I said, anybody in the right mind would have quit, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I learned and I live by the rule. The first no of the day means good morning. The first no of the day means good morning. And Wally Amos, I asked Wally Amos the same question. And Wally Amos, famous chocolate chip cookies, he said, you're the only individual who keeps score. Why would you want to listen to somebody else? I mean, you're the gatekeeper. You're the eternal scorekeeper. So you don't have to worry about that. And it all comes back to you anyway, because by the time you read Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, he talks about IH. Well, according to Adam Smith, and people look at Adam Smith and they read his book, The Wealth of Nations, I got it back there in my study, he was not an economist. I mean, Adam Smith was a moral philosopher. So there is some spirituality in that book. And he says, you don't have to worry about that because IH keeps score. And what is IH according to Adam Smith? Invisible hand.
Invisible what?
Invisible hand. And what is invisible hand according to Adam Smith? It's providence. It's the Almighty. It's the Creator. Let your light so shine that it glorifies your Father in heaven. And what did Mother Teresa say in the final analysis? It's never been between you and them. It's only between you and God. So build anyway. Build anyway.
Does persistence have a look? I mean, how do we know? When do we know? I just think a lot of my clients, I'm in the real estate business, and I feel like they make a few offers, they look at a few houses, and they get burned out.
Yeah, it does have a look. I mean, what did Nelson Mandela say? When interacting with others, don't look at the lips, don't read their lips, look at their feet, see what they're doing, see where they're going.
Gotcha.
So it does have a look. I mean, there are 10 different forms of wealth, and the number 10 form of wealth is energy. Wow. And what do we know about energy? There are two types of energy. There's fast and slow, and there's high and low. Mm-hmm. And what else do we know about energy? Fast energy always overcomes slow energy, and high energy always overcomes low energy. Mm-hmm. So all you got to do is, Nelson Mandela says, look at the feet. Just look at the way people walk down the street. The go-getters, the peak performers, the leaders, the high earners, the high achievers. How do they walk down the street? Hey, man, I got to get out of here. Chris, I'm sorry. I'll hook up with you. Hit me up on the hip, man. See ya, holla. I got to go, my brother. We'll hook up. Bye. And how do the poor, the hopeless, the downtrodden walk down the street? Ooh, Lord have mercy. Ooh, I just wish I could find somebody to help me with these kids. They boast about their poverty. I mean, everybody's got an ego. The wage earners, the peak performers, they got an ego. Well, even the folks who don't have a dollar, they have an ego too. They boast about the poverty. Dr. K, what's going on? Man, I can't call it, bro. I'm a squirrel in your world. If I had your hand, I'd throw mine in, bro.
I remember those.
Quit boasting about your poverty. No one needs to hear that.
I cut that out years ago.
Yeah. And your creator talked about that when he encountered the blind man. The blind man was boasting about everything that was going on in his life, going wrong in his life, until Jesus, the third time he asked the question, sir, for the final time, what is it that you want? And the blind man said to him, I wish to be whole. And what did the master from from Nazareth say? The kingdom is within. And because he said, aha, I see, he saw.
I love listening to you, brother. I can listen to you talk all night.
Really? I'll be sure to tell my students Tuesday.
Brother Kimbro says, what is it that you desire in your book? How do some of us, I didn't get my mission until I passed my monthly cash flow needs, right? Before I had my, I was just figuring out it, there's a book in George Classon's 5 Rules of Gold. Only one is dedicated to the earning aspect of life, right? So I didn't get a clear vision of what I wanted to kind of contribute to the universe until I had my cash flow needs fixed. How do people get that desire? What is it that you desire? Because even the people that I coach as trainers, like, what they ask me, Kris, you're so enthusiastic about real estate, about entrepreneurship. How did you get that? I have a big why. So go ahead.
Yeah, desire is human nature. We all, like I shared, we all have desires. Something that we want to do, something that we want to possess, something that we want to become. Yeah, we all got desires. That's human nature. 101.
Yep.
Well, a burning desire. And this is what Napoleon Hill spends the better part of his book, Think and Grow Rich, discusses. A burning desire is an inner candle, an inner flame that can never be extinguished. Will you bet your entire existence upon it? Today, this hour, this minute, this moment, this brick wall, look, damn it, I'm going through it. That's a burning desire. And though the worst may go before you, the cynics, the doubters, the naysayers, the unbelievers, you will use the doubt, use the criticism, use the cynicism to propel you forward. In the book that I'm working on now, I got a chapter, almost the next to last chapter of the book, entitled, Remember When They Laughed. Remember when they laughed. Okay, yeah. They're not laughing anymore. And I love my neighbors, and it was just one of those things, man, that we were going through the dog days, man. Me and my wife and 3 kids. My youngest was what? 9 years old, maybe. So she didn't know tough times, man. It was just, she was having a good time in life. Maybe that's a good metaphor, man. Maybe I need to follow that. But we had one car, and it was an old, beat up Datsun 510. Remember when Nissan made Datsuns?
Datsun, I remember those.
Yeah. It was a 5-speed, no air conditioning. Imagine a car, no air conditioning in Atlanta, Georgia. Sometimes it started and sometimes it didn't, and it was on its last legs and this, that, and everything. Well, we got invited to a cocktail party with our neighbors, and some of my neighbors knew what we were going through, knew what I was going through, writing this book and living off my wife's earning as an accountant. She was holding up the pillars on her salary. And so we all the guests at the cocktail party gravitated to the kitchen, and we were having drinks and folks were cracking jokes. And one of my neighbors cracked a joke, says, "What's black and gray and lies in the grass?" And I said, "Black and gray and lies." I said, "I don't know what." And he said, "Your car." Your car. You don't know how that compelled me. You don't know how much that motivated me. You don't know how much that inspired me.
Should have told him thank you.
Yep. But man, yeah, praise God. Hey, you never know. Wow. But when it's all said and done, what will others say about you? When it is all said and done, when you about to make your transition and leave your fingerprints on life, what did Steve Jobs say? When are you going to poke a hole into the universe? What are the 5 great events of your life? What are they? Have you identified 5 great events of your life? And if you haven't, well, damn it, I need to know why you haven't. Wow. I mean, we've grown folks on this, StreamYard, not Zoom, but on this call. I need to know. And right now, I've identified 2 of my 5, and I can actually say I've identified them all. But I'm working on them now because I look at my grandchildren. I got to be around for certain events in their life. So, yeah, that compels you. That motivates you. As I shared before, Kris, the 4 great questions. Number 1, where have you been? Where have you been? All of a sudden, you're going to make a grand entrance in life. Well, you've been on the planet for a while. Where have you been? Question number 2, why are you here? What's your purpose? What's the greatest tragedy in life? The greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is to be alive and not know why. Why are you here? Question number 3, your area of excellence. What can you do? What can you do? Do you even know your area of excellence? Do you? And then last but not least, number 4, here's the keys to the car. You driving the car. Where are you going? Where are you going? Everything else is dialogue. Everything else is narrative. Don't even need it. Just answer those 4 questions for me, and that'll tell me where you are and what you're doing in life.
Do we grow into this? I'm 45, Brother Kimbro, and I'm like, I know some guys 60 still trying to figure it out, and I know some guys 25 got to figure it out.
Yeah.
How in the hell? I'm just like, when I was 25 or 28, I remember reading Napoleon Hill book. He talks about most men don't figure it out till they hit 40. I'm like, damn, I don't want that to be me.
Well, they say real life doesn't begin to 40. I mean, when you're 20 years old, no one can tell you a thing because you think you know it all. When you're in your 30s, you failed a couple of times, blah, blah, blah. By the time you get to the 40s, you get to the realization that, hey, I got to get up off my butt and do something. I ain't got time for no nonsense. I don't care if you like me, don't like me, can help me, can't help me, whatever. I know I got to come up with a plan and follow this plan because time is running out. And at the top of our list, again, when I started this, whoa, man, in the early 1980s, our primary dream, me and my wife, as I shared with you, Kris, we got married our senior year in college. I was a junior at the university. We got married our senior year, but we met in our junior year, and we were both juniors, but I was at the University of Oklahoma, and she was at Oklahoma State. And she transferred from Oklahoma State to OU, and we got married. And shortly thereafter, we started a family. We had 2 girls, and then we waited a while to have our, 3rd child. But our number one dream that we had, because we saw the way that we attended college, I mean, it was hand to mouth. Neither of us had a dime, neither of our families. And it's almost like the average student who attends an HBCU today. I mean, Kris, if you look at the 300,000 kids that attend historically Black colleges and universities today, I mean, 60% of them are first generation. And listen to this data, Kris. 40% of these 300,000 come from families in which their parents can't even give them a dime toward their education. Well, that was both of our parents. And so we said, man, when we saw the way that other students were going to college, we said that's the way we want our kids to go. So that was high on our list.
How are they going to college, Brother Kimbro? Give me what did that look like?
Oh man, they weren't African Americans, so you don't have to worry about.
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah, and at that time, I mean, oil and natural gas, the number one major, well, the 2 top majors at the University of Oklahoma, and still that way, are engineering and geography.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted to drill for oil. They knew natural gas was down there, and those kids were dealing, man. So yeah, me and my wife said, yeah, when our kids go, they won't have to worry about it. And bam. I mean, it's just like a vision board in our mind. And we just want to make sure that our 3 girls got through school, no loans, no nothing, free, go do whatever you want to do. Cool. Who do I write the tuition check up? Oh, you don't take check. Here's my Visa. Here's my American Express, blah, 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 this, that. And, I'm not saying that to impress you. Yep. I'm just saying, yeah, then that's why they want to know, yeah, Dennis, it worked for you, but will it work for me? We all have desires, and that was one of our top desires. So,
Gotcha.
Yes, God is no respecter of persons.
I appreciate that, Brother Kimbro. Roundup family, we're here with Dennis Kimbro, the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Get your questions in. I got a few more, then I'll turn it over there. Brother Kimbro, I know even when I talk to people about the service that they're going to, everybody's like, I want to get paid, right? But in the book, it's like, what are you going to give up in exchange for the value that you require from the community? So the amount of money you will receive will be in direct proportion to the demand of what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty of replacing you. Go ahead.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, this shit hit home for me.
And that's the page, and that's on service. Yep. Yeah. And direct compensation, that's called the law of compensation, brother.
Law of compensation.
And what do we know? Under service, the law of Q plus MA equals C. The quality of your service plus the quantity of your service plus the mental attitude in which it is rendered always equals compensation. And that's a rule that'll last for eons, man. I mean, you don't break that law, Kris. You confirm it. Because if you ever break it, you're going to be out of business. You confirm that law. The only reason why, and there's so many examples of it. I mean, all you got to do, for all practical purposes, shopping malls are dying or they're dead. The only malls that are in existence right now, they sell high-end fashions and whatever. I mean, you can look at TGIF Friday. When TGIF Friday was formed in the early 1980s, I mean, excellent service, excellent product, whatever. They were #1 in the industry. They got lax, they got comfortable, whatever, and they were damn near out of business. Then on the opposite side of that, you got Chick-fil-A. I mean, when that book was released that you have in your hand, it was out for barely a year. And every year, Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A, his #1 conference that he has is called his National Prayer Breakfast Conference, where he brings in the best of the best CEOs of companies, entrepreneurs, folks doing it to share what their faith means to them. Well, when Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice released, Truett Cathy brought me in as a keynote speaker. And I met so many CEOs who would never share their faith, who would never share their spirituality, blah, blah, blah. And so I said to Mr. Cathy, Mr. Cathy, how in the world could you guys be industry leaders when you're closed on Sunday? I mean, how could anybody make the type of cash that you guys are making in the chicken business? And he corrected me. He said, Dennis, we're not in the chicken business. We're in the people business, and our people just happen to market chicken. Big difference.
People have
big difference. And they just changed the narrative in that technology. Chick-fil-A created a brand new technology in the fast food industry. That little 2-minute transaction. What was the technology? They asked for your name. Okay, let me get to, okay, so you got a sandwich, you got the fries, and you got the 4-piece, blah, blah, blah. And can I have your name? Kris. Thank you, Kris. Less than 2 minutes later. Sandwich for Kris. Well, how do people feel when their name is called?
Great.
What is the sweetest thing to an individual? Your name on somebody else's lips. Business communication 101. They changed the technology in fast food.
Oh boy.
What else did he tell me? You know, we don't hire people and make them nice. We hire nice people. I mean, all of that confirms that law. It's powerful. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yep.
I didn't bring this up. And so where my mentor says, Kris, you are in the people business.
Yeah.
This guy just beats it on my head. You know, somebody has to loan you the money to buy the house. Somebody has to sell you the house. You have to have a contractor to go do the work. You have to have a closing company to do the closing, the realtors. I'm like, golly, man.
People. And what is he telling you, Kris? You know, we're in a generation right now who thrives off of vertical ascension. Let's come on. What in the world do you mean by vertical ascension? Okay, how much money am I going to make? What's my job title? Okay, who's going to report to me? How long will I be in this position? When am I going to be executive vice president, moving up the ladder or making more money? Okay, when's my next payday? Blah, blah, blah. It's not about vertical ascension, okay? It's about horizontal transition. It's about getting wide, meeting people, touching lives along the way, caring. It's like Outback Steak, where they tell you can't fake steak. Well, look, damn it, you can't fake caring. People don't care about you until they realize how much you care about them. It's about horizontal transitioning, man. You'd be shocked how many people get that wrong. You would be shocked. I tell my students all the time, what's the one question that millennials never ask? Dr. Kimbro, you crazy? No, what's the one question that your age, I'm speaking to my students now, that your age group never asked? And they said, what? And I said, it's a simple question. I said, the question is, Dr. Kimbro, how's your day going?
Oh, shit.
Because when you ask me about how's my day going, you're not going to be on that cell phone texting while I'm telling you, well, I got started off a little slow, but, you know, I just had a nice breakfast and, we had some things going around the house and we did ABCXY over the weekend. No, when you ask somebody, Kris, how's your day going? Mm-hmm. You take the cell phone, you put it down, and you look in somebody's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, Kris, that happened to you over the weekend? Man, that had to be interesting. Man, I wish you would have told me. I'd like to have been a part of that. Oh, man. Wow. You spent your off day volunteering to paint a church. Oh, man, that's great, man. I wish I could do something like that. Tell me about that next time you do it, Kris. Big difference. And what have you done? You made a friend for life.
Wow.
You made a friend for life.
Well, I think we're all looking at WIFM, you know, what's in it for me and what can I get out of people? You know, it's kind of like, what can you do here? What can I get there? Because we're just on a rat race, brother.
Yeah, and that's all about what? Approval. It's all about the hell with approval. It's all about approval. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like it when Kris is holding my book and reading out the book and said, man, I read this book when I was in my 20s. It changed my life. I like it when I was walking through airports and somebody would pull me out of line. Dr. Kimbro, I just got to shake your hand, man, this, that, that. I like it, man, when when folks say, hey, man, that book is the bomb I've given away. I like it, man. I love it when people do that. But Kris, I don't need it. I don't need approval, whether it happens or it doesn't. I don't need it. Because if you need approval and you don't get it, what happens? You're immobilized. You are immobilized. You can't put one foot in front of the other. You don't know how to react. You don't know how to act. You don't know. Oh man, come on, man. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Wow.
What Tony Robbins called gratitude. Start your day with a grateful heart. Live in the moment. Start your day with P and D, prayer and devotion. In your day with P and D, prayer and devotion.
Wow. Oh. Whenever I'm having a little rough day, I always just I've been to the Tony Robbins Power Within, walking on the fire coals and all that. Yeah. Attitude of gratitude. I get so I'm like, my kids are healthy, my wife, I got this, I got my sight. You know, it kind of helps me to get over those humps. Let me see if we got any statements here. A lot of people remember that. Oh man, we got a super chat. Thank you, but Hood Handyman. Thank you so much for your love offering, my friend. Thank you so much.
The Hood Handyman, baby. Go ahead, bro. Looking like beast mode. Looking like beast mode.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Must be doing work. A Hood Handyman. This dude is too
much. Looking like beast mode.
Brother Kimbro, round up. You got any questions? Put them in the chat. I'm gonna keep going here. We're 30 minutes. Man, I highlighted so much stuff. Serve others. Is it a time in our life, Brother Kimbro, where we go from trying to be the boss? Like I have people say, Kris, I want to work for myself because I want to wake up when I want to. I want to work for myself, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I work for my tenants. I work for my investors, my private investors. I pay the contractors. I make sure that they get paid. Every day I work up, I'm like, I got a lot of bosses. I'm not the boss. All these people tell me, I mean, I make sure that the tenants they're warm in the winter, cool in the summer, all of that stuff. What do you have for people that are trying to become an entrepreneur with the mindset of they want to work for themselves and that they can call their own shots?
Yeah, well, everybody, I don't care whether you're an entrepreneur or corporate climber, everybody's got two customers. You know, those individuals who report to you, who you report to. Mm-hmm. You got customers, I mean, like you said, your lenders, your contractors, whatever. Tenants. And those folks who are staying in your properties, paying your mortgage every month. Mm-hmm. So, and that's all built on trust. Right now, there are 20 human values. And I just love it in this hyper politicized world that we live in. They want to label values and this values and that. No, there's only 20 human values. Number 1, achievement, and number 20, wisdom. And every one of them, Kris, is positive. But the two that are critically important, number 1, love, and number 2 is empathy. Empathy. And what is empathy? Seeing yourself through somebody else's eyes. Somebody has, like one of the things I do in my class, I give my students come in my class, first day of class, give them an index card, give them a number 2 pencil. And Dr. Kimbro, what do you want us to do with the index card? As short and as brief as you can, write your story on that card. Because everybody got a story. I was raised by my mama. I don't know who my father is. We don't have a dime. I got a brother incarcerated. Man, I don't know how I'm going to pay next semester's tuition. Everybody got a story. But it's how you use your story that matters. When you fail or drop the ball, is that when you're going to share your story? Why are you dropping out? Well, I told you, here's my story. I don't know where my father is, and my mama got 3 jobs, and I ain't got no money. Or are you going to use your story to propel you forward? Are you going to use your story? So you look at my mother. My mother had a 7th grade education. My mother was a nanny.
Wow.
My mother was a nanny. How's it like to go through life with 7th grade education? When my mother read the newspaper, she always read the newspaper with a pen in her hand. Why? Any word she didn't understand, she would circle it and go get a dictionary later. Are you ready for this? I got a doctorate from one of the top colleges in the country, if not throughout the world. But before my mother made her transition, she corrected my English.
Wow. Holy cow.
See, that's empathy. And empathy in the classroom was what? Empathy in the classroom was true nobility. Dr. Kimbro, what the hell are you talking about true nobility? I tell my students they can learn just as much from me as I can learn from them. And I learn from them. I hope they learn from me because I'm taking notes with them. That's true empathy. That's true nobility.
Wow. Wow.
Ralph Waldo Emerson's prize pupil was Henry David Thoreau. Ralph Waldo Emerson poured into Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau came up with his essay, Civil Disobedience, and Ralph Waldo Emerson came up with his essay, Self-Reliance, okay? So as you know, on Walden Pond, Henry David Thoreau was incarcerated in prison because he refused to pay his income taxes. Why? He didn't like the way that Native Americans, Indians, and Blacks, African Americans, they didn't call them that back then, were treated. So he told the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Boston, whatever, I'm not paying my taxes till you do something about it. Well, they incarcerated, they put him in jail. Well, one day, Ralph Waldo Emerson hears about his prize pupil being in jail, and he goes down to the jailhouse to visit him. And he looks at Henry David Thoreau through the prison bars, and he says, Henry, what in the world are you doing in there? And what did Henry David Thoreau say? He said, Dr. Emerson, what are you doing out there?
Oh, wow.
You taught me. How come you're not in here with me? True nobility. You learn from each other, man. Yep.
Wow. That's deep, brother. Thank you for that one, man. Why are you out there?
What do you say, Kris? I didn't sign up for this.
I'm just trying to get paid. I'm like, all my people, they just like, go ahead.
We don't want to talk about the case today, Dr. Kimbro. What do y'all want to do? We just want you to rap to us, man.
I'm like, so anyway, people like, I'm just trying to get paid. I'm trying to get paid. I'm like, man, you got to get that. You know what? I can tell when I have a conversation with a person. Let me ask you. I can tell when they need to do a little growing. I'm like, when you talk about doing business, I'm like, you know what? Do you know this? Do you know that? Do you know? You might need to go do a little bit more growing and then come back and talk to me regarding your philosophy, your ideology, how you outlook on stuff. Do you see that a lot with, I guess, clients and people that come to talk to you about business?
Yes. All the time.
I could just, it's like I can sense it immediately. I'm like, why are we talking about that?
And you got to see with your mind's eye, because your physical eye will lie to you. And you know when someone possesses a dream. You can tell it in their countenance. You can tell it the way they go about their business. And one thing you don't want to, as soon as you have a dream, you'll know that you've got a dream, because the dream stealers will try to come and take it. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is that no one can take your dream. We speak to God through prayer, and he speaks to us through intuition. And that's where all dreams come from. A dream comes from your creator knocking on your subconscious, asking you, do you want more out of life?
What are you going to do?
Here's the physical. And, people say, and even when I, as I go through my daily business, I have folks that'll come up, you stole my dream. I'm going to write that book. Well, go ahead and write it, man. There's room for everybody. I mean, you look at W.B. Du Bois, Chris, okay? W.B. Du Bois, your most prolific scholar, all right? And I shared with you the last time we were on a call together, when he was at Lane University, he taught civics, he taught history. 3 of his 9 years, he was university chaplain. He taught economics, and he even taught Greek. And so, unfortunately, there's a preponderance of W. Du Bois' writings from a sociological standpoint that we don't even talk about him as an economist.
I didn't know. Yeah.
And I wanted to change that. And what you're holding in your hand is a black man who was just ensconced with W.B. Du Bois, just like Cornel West is, just like Skip Gates of Harvard is, just like Michael Eric Dyson is. But I didn't want to talk about Du Bois from a sociological and historical standpoint. I want to talk about Du Bois from an economic standpoint. Wow. That's what you're holding in your hand right there. That's what the wealth choice is. It's Du Bois from an economic standpoint. Because at the turn of the century, W.B. Du Bois wrote the seminal book in black business called The Negro in Business.
You know what? I have been trying to, hold on, let me ask you. I read that Booker T did that first.
Yeah, they both had a book entitled, yep. Funny you should ask.
I've been trying to find that book, Kimbro. I can't find the Booker T version.
What do you mean you can't find the Booker T?
The Negro in Business. I so want to read
What do you mean?
Oh my God.
Is that what you're looking for? Chris, you wasting your time. Is that what you're looking for, Chris?
Where in the hell are you?
There it is, bro.
Where did you?
What you need to look at that? Can you read that right there? Let's see what it says, bro.
Oh my Lord, you got it. I have been trying to get that book. The Negro in Business.
Yep. And what do we know about Booker T. Washington? He was the first African American to make the cover of Success magazine.
I did not know that either.
Yep. He was 24 years old when he founded Tuskegee. Went door to door in the South to raise $6 million to do it. And his #1 benefactor was Andrew Carnegie. I've had a couple of presentations at the Pepper School of Business, Carnegie Mellon. As soon as you walk, and it is stately. It is picturesque. It's nothing but glass, stainless steel, and wood. Mm-hmm. I mean, state-of-the-art B school. As soon as you walk in there, you see a big picture. Andrew Carnegie and Booker T. Washington, and he's handing him a check. Gave him a check, what? For Tuskegee back in whatever, for what, $300,000?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Imagine $300,000, what $300,000 is worth in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, I studied, obviously, because I went to Hampton U and they have the mural and all that stuff. So I kind of follow him a little bit. I think about him when he came here, you know, hopping on carriages, walking, sleeping on the curb, all that stuff. And I'm like, how dare I, as easy as I have it, complain about my journey when this man, you know, it's just so much.
Yeah.
So. Round up, get your questions in. Around that family, we have somebody with a love offering. Eduardo, you only live once. Thank you so much for your love offering, my friend. If you want to get your questions answered first, join our membership. We speak through prayer, speak through us. Hey, no, foe. Eduardo, thank you so much. Talk about GME Short Squeeze. All your watchers will be rich on March 19th. Quadruple witching hour. You know anything about that?
Wow.
What
Ah,
is that? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Thanks for enlightening me.
Yeah, I guess I don't
Eduardo.
know. Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, you learn something new every day.
yeah, that is true.
In the book.
Eduardo, huh?
Yeah. No, hey, like I said, I learn something new every day.
Yeah,
So
I don't know, man.
yeah.
Chris Birch, what's up, Chris? Great content, Dr. Kimbro. What was your personal inspiration to write this book, and how did Napoleon connect and come up? How did you connect with Napoleon to come up with this book?
Wow, great question. Yes, that book, and you're in my study right now, and I showed you the last 100 written pages, didn't I, Chris?
No.
Last time we got together.
Mm-mm. This is crazy, y'all. Give me a thumbs up for this, putting this together, y'all. Give me a thumbs up. We're talking to a legend, living, by the way.
You're in my study right now, and here they are, and I hope you can see that. Blacks are growing rich.
Yeah, I see that.
And what you have right here, the last 100 written pages of Napoleon Hill.
Good Lord, look at that.
All right. I was working on, and that's a great question. Okay. So here I am. I'm writing my first book, which was going to be What Makes the Great Great, was going to be my first book.
Okay.
And Chris, I had interviewed so many folks. You know, I had countless interviews. I had enough interviews for What Makes the Great Great, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, and The Wealth Choice. So, but What Makes the Great Great was going to be my first book. And because it was the first of its type, I had so many articles written about that book, interviews, this, that, and everything. And Success Magazine contacted me to write a series of articles for them. So I wrote 3 articles for Success Magazine. And at the end of it, you know, aspiring writer, Blacks, wealth, this, that, and everything. But one of those articles made it to the desk of W. Clement Stone. W. Clement Stone at the time was the president of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And he called me up. I had just returned home from interviewing Earl Graves, the publisher of Black Enterprise magazine. And my wife said to me, check your answering machine. Your phone been ringing off the hook. As soon as I got home, I hit the button, and it's W. Clement Stone. Young man, we heard about you. When can we come to Chicago? I would like to meet you. Well, the next morning, I returned his phone call, and less than 2 weeks later, found the money for airline tickets and a rent-a-car, because his office was in the suburbs of Chicago, and flew up there to meet him. Didn't have the slightest idea what he had in mind, but it was in that meeting that he said to me, he said, you know, you're not the first person to go around the country interviewing successful African Americans.
No doubt.
I said, I'm not. And he said, no. He said, Napoleon Hill was doing this at the time of his death. And he reached across his credenza, pulled out these last 100 written pages, dropped it in my lap.
Wow.
Like that. He said, I got a proposition for you. I said, what is that, young man? I said, what is that, Mr. Stone? And he said, we want you to finish, complete, and update a book. And I said, what book? He said, the book that's in your lap. And my initial response, Chris, I can't do that because I'm working on a book of my own. He said to me, he said, if you have any sense, you need to push that book aside and finish this. So now, Chris, you know that there are many adaptations of Napoleon Hill's book. You got to Think and Grow Rich, A Women's Choice. You got to Think and Grow Rich, Latino Choice. So, but I mean, he only wrote 16 books.
Okay.
And you got so many adaptations of other stuff that he's written, but this was his last book.
Wow, man.
Off of his Hamilton typewriter in my hands right now. This is, and I guess I should put him in a security box or something.
Yeah.
I know.
Typewriter.
I'll go ahead and take care of that. But he had a little bit more than 100 pages, didn't have any chapter headings. But any theme that he spoke or wrote repetitively about, I put it aside as a potential chapter heading. And he only had 3 interviews, none of which I could use. He interviewed Ralph Bunche, Undersecretary to the United Nations at the time. He interviewed a gentleman by the name of James Brown, who was the CEO of Crusader Life Insurance in Kansas City, Missouri. And I couldn't use that, but
why couldn't you use that stuff?
Huh?
Why couldn't you use it?
Well, I mean,
copyright stuff?
The themes and the adaptations, and they were
didn't fit.
You didn't dig in, and something you couldn't wrap your mind around, whatever. But I have it right here, and if I ever decide to go back to it, but here's the thing. I had so many interviews that I was, I'm about to wrap up. I had so many interviews that I know that's my little daughter. That
I'm sorry.
I said, I'm going to use it for Think You Grow With Your Black choice. I'm going to use this for What Makes the Great Great, and I'm going to use this for the Wealth choice. So
gotcha.
That's how they called me. I didn't call them, and the rest was history.
Can we, how much more time we got, Doc?
I got to wrap up. I got a few guests here. My daughters are here.
All right. In the book, Carter G. Woodson's views on the self-image is stated. What are your thoughts today about self-image and its contribution to success, Brother Kimbro?
Oh, self-image is the hallmark of your personal brand. It's your hallmark of your personal brand. And as Damon John told me during my interview with him, what is your personal brand? It's your appearance, it's your attitude, it's your name, it's your voice, and the content of what you have to say. Mm-hmm. It's your appearance, your attitude, your name, your voice, and the content of what you have to say. Mm-hmm. And there are 8 laws of branding. Don't have time to go through the top 8, but the 2 that are critical. Number 1, the law of leadership, and number 2, the law of authenticity. You've got to find a field. You've got to find a domain. You've got to find an area that you have propensity to lead in. And if you think about it, we're all leaders in some field. I mean, it's something that you're passionate about, it comes easy to you, or whatever, that you can make a difference. And number 2, the law of authenticity. And what is that? You be you. And the hallmark of authenticity is consistency. Stay consistent with your brand, because how you do the little things will be a direct precursor to how you do the big things.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. I keep telling my daughters that.
Yeah.
Golly, man. Sandra wants to know, there are many people in business who lack integrity, and it takes a lot to deal with these snakes. How do you lessen the impact of dishonest people?
Sandra, Dandy, Sandy, I love you so much, Miss Sandra Davis. It's called character. It's called integrity. And you guard your character as a sacred trust. You be the same individual, behind the curtain that you are in front of the curtain. You keep your character and integrity, and you guard it. And I learned first and foremost, man, Maynard Jackson, before he made his transition, mayor of Atlanta, he would never, ever get involved if he thought 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, somebody might deem this transaction as being shady, as being under the table, dealing the cards under the table, blah, blah, blah. No. His character and integrity was first and foremost. And that's something that we've got to get. We've got to get back to character and integrity. Because when you talk about leadership is not how wide you can get. Leadership is how deep you can go.
Wow.
How deep you can go. This is who I am. These are my values. And no, Kris, I'm not telling you you have to change for me. But I got some news for you, Kris. I'm not changing for you. Big difference. Go deep with your values. Wow. There were 3 times that Martin Luther King just knew he was going to lose the nonviolent movement. Number 1, when Medgar Evers was assassinated in his driveway to his house. Number 2, in 1963, when those 4 little black girls were bombed in that church in Birmingham, Alabama. And number 3, his impending assassination. And each time he was overwhelmed with the thought that he was going to lose the nonviolent movement. What did he do, Kris? He called his team together. He called Jesse Jackson. He called C.T. Vivian. He called Ralph David Abernathy. He called Hosea Williams. He called Andy Young. He called his team together. And what did he say? He said, men, gentlemen, for the last time, let's go over the principles of the nonviolent movement. And all of them would give King pushback. Martin, why in the world are you talking? Martin, we know the principles. We go over the principles 50 million times. If you wake us up 3 o'clock in the morning, we can recite them to you. You know that we know the principles. Why are you doing it? And what did King say? I just need to hear it.
Wow.
I just need to hear that. You won't do anything. Bam.
Wow.
Bam. Integrity, character. Because that handshake will extend far longer than just two individuals. Mm-hmm. That handshake that you give another individual with your character integrity, that just might lead to global reach.
Wow. Round up, last few questions, huh?
Kris and Dr. Kimbro, do you have daily affirmations to prepare your mind for the day? I am so glad that you brought that up, Art. Yes, that's the next project I am working on.
What?
Daily affirmations. I'm taking my second book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, into like a quasi radio program. Gotcha. So that's the project that I'm working on now.
Sweet. All right. Jasmine, thank you so much for the love offerings. Awesome read this month. I got a nursing degree, saved 4 years to purchase my first home. Wow. My motivation comes from watching my family struggle in poverty. Never going back. Look at that smile. Good for you.
Never going back. The Jasmine guy. I like it. The Jasmine guy.
Jasmine guy. Isn't that something? Round up today. Thank you for joining us. We did our book review this month was Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice. Gosh, the author is here. The author. Dennis Kimbro. I can't believe I'm saying these words. Little boy, Lynchburg, Virginia. The author is here. Final thoughts. I know you got to cut out, man. Help us with it as we approach Brother Kimbro, this new stimulus package, people not wanting, or entrepreneurs that are struggling with this digital conversion. When we talked last time, we went digital. My business has just taken off like a rocket ship because we're digital. What can you leave us from our entrepreneurs as we maintain this digital atmosphere and as we move into 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, well, we know all about that. If you can't digitize your business, if you can't reduce your business,
you're done.
To be placed on a cell phone, you're going to be out of business.
Yeah, you're done.
But let me offer this as my benediction. People say, "Oh man, Dr. Kimbro, your books and money and blah blah blah." I reaffirm my books are never about cash. Not once do I ever talk about cash in any of my books.
Wow.
My books are about courage. You see, Kris, it takes courage to believe in yourself when no one else will. It takes courage to watch the masses and you go in the other direction.
You're right.
It takes courage to take your last dime, your last dollar to rob Peter, to pay Paul, because you have found your purpose in life. So there you are, my brother. Hit the subscribe button. You got to get those subscribers, man. Talking about cash, huh?
I'm not going anywhere, y'all. I'm going to be on here for a few more minutes.
Baby.
Just got it in. Just came in. I've been trying to get something else. I'm not going anywhere around up. Brother Dennis has to go, but Brother Dennis, this is an honor, dude. I love you for what you have done. Thank you.
Praise God. Love you too. Call anytime, Kris.
All right, my friend.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Round up. That was Dennis Kimbro. I just got this in. Look at that. Bam. Just came in. How y'all? Can I get a thumbs up? Can your boy get a thumbs up for trying to keep it new, refreshing, entertaining, cinematic for you? I promise y'all, you are on my mind all the time, Roundup, all the time. I get to go to sleep like, what is the Roundup? What are these fools doing tonight? Are they studying? Are they thinking? Are they out there spending money, drinking, smoking? Are they focusing on the next financing deal? What are my Roundup homies doing? I think about y'all all the time because my wife is quiet. Make sure you hit that button. I'm not going anywhere yet. My wife is quiet. All right. My wife is quiet. Y'all guys, you know I talk a lot. Who is this? Somebody, Eduardo. The most important two laws: buy GME and hold GME. I don't know what. Eduardo, man, I might have to bring you on here. You done spent $40 with me just talking about that stuff. You might be on to something. Round up. Thank you. It's an honor. So this month was Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice by Dennis Kimbro. So next month, the book that we will be doing a review on, let's bring it on up. Oh, I forgot. Don't forget, register the Real Estate Wholesaling Academy, March 17th. March 17th through the 18th, we've got my Secret Weapons, Vince Gant and Greg Hux. That link to register for that is in the video description. Get registered up for it. It's the early registration will be ending very soon, so get registered up. Okay, and the book for next month is going to be the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. This book, y'all, I just got it the other day. Good gracious. Talk about gems in this one. The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. That link, if you want to order the book, is in the video description. Here's the thing. Don't wait. Where am I at? Don't wait to get the book. Go get it now. And I do make a few pennies on it. I make a few dollars, but you don't have to get it from me. I put it in the video description. Get the book now. Like now in my life, as I'm maturing in my education philosophy in my life, right? I get books without even thinking about it. I'm like, where's the book? Boom, click, I got it. Boom, it's over. I don't got to think about it. And when it arrives, I get books coming in the mail now. I didn't even know that I bought them. I'm like, damn, I forgot I bought that book. Cool. So this is our book for next month's reading, and we will reconvene. If you want to join the book club, I will be there throughout the month. That link is in the video description. It's a Facebook group. We will be on there networking. You guys get access to me. But if you don't want to join the club, you can meet us once a month. But if you want to join, I'm trying to push you to read more, right? I need you guys to read more. That's where you don't make your money. Angela, no, thank you for always. That's right. I'm always looking for y'all, man. I'm looking out for y'all always. I would tell you what your homies are doing. Bye. Oh, this dude is too much. They just spent $50. It must be something serious here. You like my new subscribe? Isn't this something? I got the block, but the block. Here it is. So I got a new sledgehammer. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It just came in today. I've been waiting for this thing. Good grace. Damn, that's heavy too. Good Lord. The block, I got that too, but that thing is just so heavy. Roundup. If you enjoyed today's review of the Roundup Book Club, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. What I want to leave y'all with tonight is I have learned real estate is cool, but I want to preach to y'all tonight. Multiple streams of income. Right? Multiple streams. Look at Brother Kimbro. He's doing books, the author, teacher, educator, does all this stuff. He's got product. Master P says, product beats talent. Product beats talent. One of the things, you know what, Rodrigo, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much. One of the things that I've learned is in the real estate business, and I know we're all in real estate here, big transactions, right? Dan Kennedy calls it high transaction value, right? So you're only going to have but so many houses going around in a month. So why not look at other businesses that can create smaller chunks of cash income coming in on a daily basis, right? So still do real estate, but at least keep your mind open. This is one of the things that I regret in my matriculation. Thank you, Hampton University. In my matriculation as a master entrepreneur, and I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning. It took me 40 years to figure this stuff out. Multiple streams of income. I do real estate. I'm real estate full time, but I have a team. I don't have to be at the house every day. Ron does that. Smitty handles the interfacing with the contractors, and he handles all the interaction with the homeowners and sellers and the buyers and all that. So my thing is, I come in. I'm the finance guy. So I'm going to be actually opening up. If anybody wants to come in, if you've got some capital, you want to invest in our real estate business, please just send me a direct message on any of my social media platforms. So round up. Next month, we've got John Maxwell. This is going to be our Book of the Month Club, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. John Maxwell. That link is in the video description. Go get it now. Get it now. Do not wait. Just get it. Hit the button. It's like $10 something. Trying to push you to read more. Trying to get you to read. So the Real Estate Wholesaling Academy coming up in a couple weeks. These are my secret weapons. These gentlemen, when I call them, if I have a quick question about technology, cold call and text, ringless voicemail, all this stuff, following up at leads, CRM, that's who I call. These guys are young. They quit their jobs to full-time real estate investors. And that's what they're doing. I'm honored to be able to bring these guys. That link also is in the video description for the Real Estate Wholesaling Academy. Okay. So take a second, subscribe. I am getting out of here. If you don't have any other questions, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. Probably need to hit the bell on the back. Dang. I got so many little toys here. Roundup, I love you guys, man. You show up for your boy. Dennis Kimbro. Wasn't that cool? What are you saying? I will come back when GME is 10,000. Remember, don't use Robinhood and don't trade on margin. Have you really not heard of GameStop? I don't. Most of the people here are real estate guys, Eduardo. Thank you so much for your love offering, man. You done blow me up tonight. What are my thoughts on investing in crowdfunding? Yes, Lakeisha Morgan. Crowdfunding is a way that I built my real estate business. We use private investors to buy and sell real estate. They finance our real estate transactions, okay? We don't use the banks, although I will. We use private people, okay? So your crowdfunding is going to be a conglomerate of people, right? So yes, crowdfunding is the way to go, the way to go. Yes, that's how it will be. Good for you. Gotta make sure I'm tuned in forward to the next. Mark, hey, Mark, how you doing, my friend? Pastor Kenneth, what up, my friend? What's up? What up? What up? Yep. Okay, that's all I got for y'all. Listen, enjoy your night. Subscribe, hit that like button, share with anybody else that's interested in reading more. Our book club, go ahead and join on up, man, if you want access to us in the Facebook. See you soon, Roundup. Oh, Monday, I have a pay-per-click company coming on. These guys will be handling some of my lead flow, right? Pay-per-click. Now, it's not for somebody that doesn't have a budget. This pay-per-click stuff ain't cheap. But what I want to do in my life now, I just want to write a check. I want my leads to come in. I want somebody to handle my campaigns. So they're going to be the ones handling the Google ads. All right. So listen, if you want to learn this stuff, it's not super expensive, but it's going to be a fee. All right. So Monday, 7:00, I'm going to have the pay-per-click expert coming on. If anybody's looking to get more leads, right, without having to do a bunch of work, that's for you. Okay. So I'll see you Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. I love you guys. Peace.